Welcome back, everybody. Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell, the bearded dwarven princess, and today it's all about D&D 6th edition, which has just been announced, but they're not calling it 6th edition. They're calling it something else entirely. We're going to be diving in today, so strap in, you tabletop fans. We're going to be rolling the dice and seeing whether or not we actually like these changes or not. It's kind of inevitable. We knew it was coming. I just got into 5th edition myself. I've been enjoying it. But the changes to this new edition sound pretty standard. It's just like an updated version. But more importantly is the fact that they are definitely building their own and have been working on it for quite some time, their own virtual tabletop program, which means folks like myself who have been using VTT programs like Roll20 or Foundry VTT or my favorite, which is Fantasy Grounds, are probably going to be moving to the Wizards of the Coast version at some point in the near future. Let's just dive into this article. I'm going to be using the PC Gamer version. There's obviously press releases and all other stuff that I'll be linking down below, but this one has a pretty succinct run through. So we're just going to go through this and kind of soak this all in, ladies and gentlemen. Wizards of the Coast just announced that the next generation of D&D Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons is on its way via a massive public playtest called One D&D, which is going to include a revision of the core rulebooks, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master Guide, and the Monster Manual. This is coming alongside an official digital tool set and virtual tabletop for D&D, which we knew for a while that was being developed, but this is the official announcement that they're coming with this D&D digital play experience, which is alongside D&D Beyond and the next rule set. It's being developed in Unreal Engine 5. Now, if you remember correctly, we already kind of talked about this. I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, whenever they did the D&D Beyond purchase, I did an update on that, and in that video, we talked about how they had already been working on a VTT program, and that the VTT program was going to be something that was probably going to come about as a result of the D&D Beyond purchase. That is definitely absolutely the case here. They are going to be blending this together with the existing D&D Beyond digital tools. The most important thing here is that it's being developed in Unreal Engine 5, which I think is going to be a huge thing that's going to give players the chance to really take their D&D to the next level. Now, if they're doing something like this where they're combining, say, virtual tabletop tools with what we've seen for something like Tailspire, I think we're going to be getting an experience that's going to blow people's minds, and it's going to take D&D specifically, but tabletop to the next level. And if they do this right and they allow all of us out there who are doing homebrew campaigns to use the D&D virtual tools, I think that's going to be even better. It's really, really awesome. Basically, it's just looking like you might be able to buy a pre-made adventure, then perhaps be bundled together with a physical version, get that playset on digital with terrain and NPCs that are going to be used apart. Now, we're hoping then you can then take it as is or take it apart and reuse those digital assets and rules for custom scenarios, which is really, really what we're hoping for, because then we can do our homebrew stuff in there. Virtual play spaces are meant to look like sets for miniatures. It's not going to be, say, as two-dimensional as what we've gotten with Fantasy Grounds or Roll20. This is definitely looking like something more like what we've seen with Tailspire. But I think it's a really, really cool announcement. That's only part of the announcement, however. The rest of it is getting into the rule set itself, which is 6th edition. Some people are saying 5.5. They're just basically wanting to call this thing Dungeons and Dragons and get away from the editions experience. Now, there's some cool things coming to the rules here, which we're going to talk about. But before we do, this is the part of the video where I say, call to action, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video and you want to get more like this from me, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get more updates delivered to you whenever I have new videos that come out. Now, if you know who I am and you've been around for a while, you know that I am a dungeon master, and we do a 5th edition tabletop setting called the Weave in the Void, which is that world map behind me. If you didn't know that, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over to patreon.com/wandering hermits, the Wandering Hermits being myself, my brother, and my wife, or you can go to weaveandvoid.com where you can find more information about our setting. It also has a tabletop component that's much beyond that. We have a point and click adventure game and a book series all set in this world. It's all being done through our Patreon, and we live stream our 5th edition campaign every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central on the Twitch channel for the Weave in the Void. You can also support the channel here with a super thanks down below. Pick your amount, buy me a cup of coffee, buy me a Ferrari, whatever you want to do. And you can join as a member of the Adventurers Guild down below. My channel is completely supported by the streams. I have been full-time now for several months thanks to the support of everybody. And of course, we live stream every day here, every morning, every evening. And you can come onto the live streams and do super chats and stickers to support the channel. And I appreciate all of those who have been doing so for the past. I can't talk today. I'm so excited about this press release. It's pretty awesome. So let's get back to it. Now, some of the changes that are be coming down the pipeline, they said they are listening to fans, and what they're trying to do is where we're coming out of thinking of D&D not as an edition, but simply as D&D. The changes that they're proposing don't take anything away or change any of the stuff they love. And the writer says, as a D&D veteran who went from 3rd edition to its evolution to 3.5 and then 4 or 4E, essentials, I can comfortably say this is going to be true partially. One of the big things now is that they say natural 20 is now always a success, while a natural 1 is always a failure. The change was made, says D&D's game design architect Jeremy Crawford, because the vast majority of people playing that game, whether the way it was the official rules or not. By the way, I've been using that rule for years, ladies and gentlemen. Years. A nat 20 is always a success. A nat 1 is always a failure. And then beyond that, we use flavor rules to determine how bad of a failure was it or how cool of a success was it. Always a fail, always a failure on a 1, always a success on a 20. That I feel like that's been a rule set that people have been using for decades without D&D prompting us that that's actually the case. But according to this new rule set, they're going to make that a canon rule now. They're also getting rid of critical hits for NPCs. Says that's huge. Some people will hate it. I actually can tell you right off the bat that my gut reaction is I'm not going to be getting rid of that rule. I love nat 20s and crits being a thing against the players. I think that's something that adds a certain level of danger to the world and danger to the characters. Are you going somewhere, Lucas? I've got a cat behind me. We've been sitting. I don't know if you can see today. No, he's down here. Here, let's go to this side. So I've been sitting here at a weird angle because Lucas was asleep on the chair behind me, and he's finally moving. So we're gonna get up and go with, depending on where he goes. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of getting rid of the crits for NPCs because I feel that crits add a certain level of danger to the adventure, which players need to keep them on their toes. But it is what it is. Um, so the first playtest they're doing is going to be focusing on race and background, giving an involved version of previous rules, introducing a celestial opposite of the tiefling called the animal-headed Ardlings. Interesting. Also collapses spell lists into separate arcane, divine, and primal lists, which is very, very interesting. So if you want to read more, you can, of course, go into the official press releases. I'll have those linked down below for those of you who want to read at your leisure. But the big thing here, at least from my perspective, the biggest thing for me that I'm really, really excited about is the virtual tabletop component that they are releasing, because that's going to give us a chance to take this Tailspire component and dive into something completely different that's even expanded beyond what they are. Now I'm going to go watch that, maybe make a video about that as well in the meantime. Thanks, everybody. Love to hear your thoughts below. Drop them down there. Like, subscribe, follow. See you next time.